Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Bel-Air Season 2, the finale. And I know it's late. I'm sorry. I will be coming out with more content this week. Real Housewives of Atlanta is back on, Love and Marriage Huntsville. But let's get into it. Put a ring on it. And y'all want to marry at first sight for whatever reason. So I'm going to give it to y'all, okay? But we're going to get into Bel Air. This is the finale. So we got to wrap this season up. And before we get into it, if you're new here or if you're not, either way, if you've been here before and you're not subscribed, like, what are we doing? Hit the subscribe button. It's free 99. Like, don't you click off without doing it if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my other videos. Be sure to like and comment. And let's go ahead and jump into it because y'all said season 2 wasn't really drama filled. It's just enough drama for me, okay? So we start off with Will. He has a chip on his shoulder because of the Doc situation, finding out from Jackie that Doc basically just wanted to get to him to get through to his uncle. So he taking it out on everybody. He on the court, playing street ball, taking it out on random players. Like, you not from California, Will, calm down. So Jazz comes out there to try to save the day. He's snapping on Jazz. He just taking it out on everybody. He ends up going to the beach and he called Lisa and she showed up, of course. And he's like, you didn't have to come. Well, what you call her for? You obviously wanted her to come, okay? And she came. And they were talking and he asked, like, do you think it's best for us to just be friends? She says yes, even though we know she means no, but okay. So then we see LaMarcus and he's offering to take Hillary to Paris. After the night they had and she cooking them breakfast and everything, he's trying to rekindle things. He wants his girl back. But she's unsure if she wants to go. Girl, go. Girl, go. Why aren't we? What's there to think about? Like, go. Pack your bag. So, Uncle Phil, he wants to open his own small firm. Uncle Phil is busy, okay? He don't stay in one business, uh, you know, situation too long. Like, he said he would, in a matter of like 3 or 4 episodes, he told his old law firm he coming back, told Erica he going to her firm, and now he said forget it, I just want to do my own thing. Okay, I ain't mad at it. But he does need Erica's help. And he was saying, you know what, your company, they partner with like less than 1% minorities. So, you need to talk to them, kick it to them, and let's try to partner together. So Janice ends up coming over to the Bel-Air mansion. And she's talking to Aunt Viv, acting like she's, helping her with her artwork. And then on her way, because she's like, is there anything, anything you want to say? And Aunt Viv was like, no. And she's like, okay, like, let's cut the BS. Like, I know you went behind my back and was talking about taking my job. And she was like, look, I'm not giving up without a fight, period. She got into that speech. So Aunt Viv was taken aback. But what you thought? You thought this lady was just going to let you have it? Of course not. So Uncle Phil comes home and he excitedly tells Aunt Viv about his successful business venture. And he's like, it's working out for him. Meanwhile, she's venting because she's a little stressed with her issues with the fellowship. And he's like, well, maybe you should just let the fellowship go. That upset her because she always feels like he's never supporting her dreams. And this does feel like a lack of support in this moment. So we finally get an appearance from Will's mom on FaceTime. And she's advising him because he's saying, like, why do I feel like I still need my dad, even though, I told him I didn't need him. I feel like I do. And she's like, it's okay to feel like you need him. He is your father. Fortunately for him, he got Uncle Phil. So he got a good father figure in his life. So Will ends up talking to Uncle Phil and he gets him to listen because at first he was like, look, I'm not helping Doc, and when it comes to you and your basketball, I will support you every step of the way. Like, we'll figure it out, don't worry. And Will's like, that's great, but like, let's hear from them, some of the players who feel like Doc is the only option. So they explaining what Doc did for them and how he helped them and their family. He should. He getting money off of y'all. So if he giving you a little crumbs just to help keep your family afloat because your mama lost her job and your daddy needed text for his interview, I mean, that's the least. He is getting paid for y'all. But he also talks to Doc as well. He listens to what they gotta say, and we know really he just doing it because Will asks him to. He love Will, but he decides to help him. Uncle Phil decides to step in as his lawyer, and so they confront his Doc's former business partner. And first he didn't want to. The partner didn't want to hear it, but he ends up agreeing to the buyout that Doc is trying to give him, so he can just buy him out of the company, and he can go his own way. He doubled what he offered him the last time, so it's an offer he can't refuse. So, and he signed them papers, so it's a done deal. So it looked like this Doc situation, we moving forward, and we know next season we gonna have some new obstacles to overcome. So Will decides to help out. Sorry if I'm sniffling. My allergies, okay? But Will decides to help out his former high school basketball team. They're trying to train to get to the semifinals. They can't make it. So he invites, works it out with his coach, his former coach. And they're going to just do some reps and train with his current teammates. And his old coach was like, look, this is what I wanted to see. So next year, senior year, you want your old spot back? Come holla at me. So we know he's going to be back on the team, which is good for him because he's got the AAU and he's going to be back on his high school team. So, you know what? Next time I sniffle, I'm going to just pause the video because, girl. So Viv is talking to Janice and she convinces her that she needs to pass the torch. She's like, look, they want to pin us two black women against each other, thinking that we're going to fight for little scraps and crumbs that they give us. And they want to see us pinned up against each other. So it's better if we come out with a press release, you pass the torch along. If it's not with me, it's going to be somebody else. So you're better off giving it to me so I can keep what you put in place going and continue your vision. And it looks like she's getting through to her. And moving on, we see Phil. He in his new office. Looks like everything's a go. He's talking to Jeffrey, and they like, why didn't we do this before? Why didn't y'all do this before? But Jeffrey says he keeps getting blocked calls, and when he answers, no one says anything. Just as he's saying that, Erica, she comes strolling in. It was given, like, remember when Gabrielle Union was coming up in there to complete that game all on Morris Chestnut? It was kind of like that. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the energy. But she come in and she's like, ooh, let's celebrate. She come in with a bottle of champagne. She give him a hug to congratulate him and, like, gives a kiss. And it wasn't even like it just looked forced and it didn't look natural. And he was just like, whoa, we got to keep this professional. And she's like, oh, sorry, you can celebrate with Viv later with this bottle. Take your bottle and get gone. But whatever. So when she leaves, Jeffrey's like, you sure? You sure you want to go through with this? I don't think you should do it. And Uncle Phil like, I got this under control. I just got to play her game. She got you wrapped around her fingers. And when you don't give her what she wants, it's going to come tumbling down. So everyone's ready for the Founders Awards, and we've been talking about this all season. So finally, the time is here. And Ashley, before they even get going, the guys come down, everyone's dressed, looking nice. This is why we got to support Bel-Air. Y'all talking about, it's not enough drama, it's not enough this and that. We got to support our black shows. This is an amazing, aesthetically pleasing to the eye casts, and just for that reason alone, we got to support this show, y'all, okay? So Ashley's thanking Will and Carlton ahead of time. And at the ceremony, before everything gets started, Jeffrey tells Uncle Phil that he traced the calls back and is going to a phone in East London. So I don't know. He wanted to meet his son, but I don't know if that was a good idea because you don't really know what his intention, what the son's intentions were. We don't know what's going on. Lisa, she's looking beautiful, by the way. And she's standing there minding her business when Drew walks up on her and tells her until she can get over Will, she won't be able to move on with him or anyone else for that matter. And he's right. Girl, go be with your man. So Will tells Jazz Hillary's about to leave to go to Paris because Jazz is like, he feels like he just messed up the best thing that ever happened to him. He really fumbled. He dropped the ball. Like, he really is about to lose the love of his life to LaMarcus. And he really, really is. Like, too little, too late for me. Like, at first I was like, yeah, I want them to work it out. No. Jazz wanted to be chased so bad. I don't like no man that like to be chased. Listen, you supposed to go get your woman. Now somebody else stepping in, and now you realize what you was about to have, what you was about to lose. But Will tells him it's not too late. Go get your girl. It might be too late though. So Lisa will make eye contact from across the room, and as soon as they do, here comes Jackie, and Will's like, "Oh, Jackie, hey." And then, because she's like, "Well, everybody's made up except for us," and he's like, "Yeah, you know." And then Viv walks up. So he's like, Lisa walked off. So he follows behind her. And they, like, in between some, I don't know if this is in the library. So they in between the aisle or some books. And Will's like, it's not what you think. What you saw with Jackie, like, it's nothing. And he basically tells her he wants to be with her. And of course, she wants to be with him. So they kiss. And that sealed the deal. And at least somebody got their girl back. Okay? It makes sense. It don't make sense for Lisa to be dating these guys. She only wants Will. So Ashley catches Carlton. Carlton sniffing at stuff in his locker. And she confronts him. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, it's Xanax to help me with my anxiety. And she's like, that is not Xanax. I am not no fool, okay? I may be 13 and in middle school, but I'm not blind. So he started getting that powder head strength, and he like, you ain't gonna say nothing. He's like, you ain't gonna say nothing at all. And she's like, okay, I won't. He's scared, the poor child. So she run off. It's time to get off that stuff. It's getting out of hand now. So Jazz comes to Hillary's house, and he told her that he pushed her away because he felt like she was too good for him, and he pushed her away before she did it to him. And that's just his insecurities, like she said a little while back, because she didn't feel that way. And she's like, look, I was so hurt, I couldn't even get out of the bed, like I canceled all my appointments, I never want to feel that way again. And then he talking about, well, love hurts. No, it don't. Love don't hurt. People hurt people, but love shouldn't hurt. But she's like, can you promise me I won't hurt again? And he was like, no, but I can try. And will you try with me? And she's like, I can't promise you that. That's not what I wanted to hear. So, but, he did make it clear he loves her. He never told no other woman that besides his mama. And he was like, look, once you make up your mind, you know where I'll be. So, Carl, it's time for finally, we're going to find out who wins the Founders Award, and Carlton wins. I thought for sure Will was going to win, but Carlton wins. I think the mental health aspect definitely played a part. And as he's giving his speech, he suddenly loses his train of thought. And he's like, look, I think that thing with Ashley in the hallway really it just shook him up. So he's like, he just admits that he's an addict. And he starts crying, and he's like, look, my head's in the clouds right now from that stuff. Okay, I've been doing it. I've been lying to y'all. I'm not no hero. He always saying something like at the wrong time. No, I knew he was gonna do it, like, because it's kind of predictable. But I wish he would have just took an award and then after the fact told them in private. But, he had to say it in his time. So at home, Uncle Phil is snapping on Carlton because he like, how long? And Viv like, hold on, Phil. And he like, no, let me talk to my son. And in this moment, I'm like, back off, Viv. Let the man talk to his son. And he like, you know what? They gave you the best that I got. You had everything. And Carlton acting like some victim. Like, I know I wasn't the son that you wanted, and I'm not strong like you wanted me to be. Like, nice try. Listen. No. Ain't no sympathy cards for you in this moment. I don't want to hear it. I understand the frustration. Later on in the episode, he does come, to give Carlton a hug. And that's what he needs. Carlton breaks down in his arm and cries. And he sheds a silent tear. Because it's just a tough situation. And I think that's how you handle it. Like, even though you're upset and you're snapping your kids and it's going to happen and they're not going to do everything you like, you still want to be there for them and let them know you care. And so I hope that, Carlton realizes he has people that love him, and he need to leave that, Connor, he need to leave him alone. So Hillary, we saw knock at Jazz's door, and then they show Hillary, and it's like, oh, but Hillary decided to go to Paris with LaMarcus, and the knock at Jazz's door was just the FedEx driver. Boy, you waited too little, too late. I ain't mad at it though, but what I will say is I think something might happen in Paris, and we know the Hillary and Jazz storyline is not done. That was just ain't no way it's done that quick. Jeffrey's checking the mail, and he gets a piece of mail in an envelope. It's a blank envelope with nothing on it, and it's a picture of him and his son when they met at that restaurant. Somebody watching them, and I can't believe Jeffrey don't know who it is. So Janice, we see an article. Janice passed the torch. And I'm glad she did, because how much longer were we going to drag this Janice storyline? Nice to see your former Aunt Viv #2. Let's move on. But Aunt Viv is too busy. She looking at rehabs. She can't even focus. I don't know how she's going to do this fellowship now with this Carlton situation. We will see. And Phil, Erica texted him like, "You want to go out to dinner on me?" And then first he was like, "No, it's not a good time." But then he said, "Sure. You think you got this under control?" She's controlling it all. She's controlling the strings. You the puppet. And finally, we end off with Lisa and Will. They walking in like, "I'm glad everything's out in the open now." Like, and me too. And Will's like, "I can't wait for senior year." Lisa said, "Hold on. We got to get through summertime first." And so she was saying Summers and Bel-Air are lit. That is where the episode ends. So it looks like we're going to have a summer season. I think we're going to have a season in the summer. Then we got to do senior year. Probably going to break that up into 2 seasons. We got to have another season in the summer. So we're going to keep watching as long as we can. I enjoyed the season. I did. But y'all let me know what y'all thought. We ended the finale off here in Will Smith's Summertime, giving nostalgia. And I can't wait for next season. I wish that it didn't come on once a year. These shows come out with seasons so quick now that I wish we didn't have to wait until February to get it. Like, it's summertime now. We need a new season. But y'all let me know what y'all thinking in the comments. Check out my other content. Be sure to subscribe because this is a growing channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.